I felt like the current child psychologist that we were working with here in the Des Moines area was just over-medicating her. She was a zombie. She couldn't function in the morning. She couldn't get out of bed.
I slept a lot, and it was like, I was on the outside looking in, like I was outside of my body looking at myself, like I felt like I couldn't make decisions, I couldn't function. I couldn't hardly stand up.
It was life-changing. It was life-changing for Jayme. It was life-changing for our family. The panic attacks and things that she was having before she got medicated to the point to being a zombie, they addressed everything at the CAIMP program.
At first I was a little resistant, but because no one wants to think they have a problem. But I knew I did, and I just didn't know how to, get help. How to, ask for help.
The nurse practitioner that was on staff at the CAIMP program helped us sort through Jayme's medications. And some of them the doses were so high that it was a danger to her heart. So they got us set up with some cardiologists there, and we're able to move through that and make sure that her heart was still as it should be for a person of her age, and she wasn't in any danger. And then we, gradually reduced those levels of medications to where she could be a more normal human being.
Everyone who has, this illness thinks that it's only them and they're only by themselves. And, it's, I'm just on my own here. There's no one else that's having the same problem. That's not the case. So by having all those other kids that are suffering from these same problems, you have someone to relate to. And you have someone to go through this. Like, we can be talking about one thing and like, oh, well, I have that too. I had that problem too. And so then we all work through this together, and we strategize of how we would handle that situation if it were to come up again.
For my husband and I, and also Jayme's sister, it was the getting things worked out and understanding more of what was going on with Jayme and the depression, and being able to understand a little bit more about what she was feeling and how we could help her through those feelings and help her cope was a really big part of the life change for us.
And the recreational therapy was one of my favorite parts. I still do some of the activities I learned there. Like, I learned how to wood burn at camp, and when I feel like my life is out of control and when I feel like I can't take it anymore, I go get my wood burner out. It helps because I know that it's not going to be perfect, because when you're burning wood, there's no eraser. So it's like, you have to, dial it back, and you have to know that you're not going to be perfect, and that's just part of the wood. But it's like relating to life. Nothing is perfect, but you have to work at it, and you have to develop it.
Oh my gosh, we didn't really have relationships before. It was just us trying to manage her and her trying to get through the days. She just couldn't get through the days, and all we did was try to manage her behaviors rather than trying to understand. We were managing medications and arguing with the school because they didn't understand. Had a lot of problems at the high school.
In my toolkit, we talked about a lot of different things. We talked about, just breathing, or I visualize. And, another thing that I learned is, an alternate location, if you can find one. Like, if you're at work, you go to the bathroom. Or, if you're at home, you go to a different room. And sometimes just a change of location, change of scenery can, be kind of a trigger to snap you out of things. Those are some things that I use regularly, still today.
They teach you everything at camp. They go through, recreational therapy to help you cope. The dietitian comes. There's nurses, and the kids have their own little counseling with Barry, who's wonderful. They love him. And then we had our, parent counseling. And not only it's not really counseling, it's more of a discussion and learning, an educational opportunity, as well as parents being able to talk to parents and share stories.
They gave us a little blue, it was like an inch wide, and it was, about 3 inches long, and it was like a card, like the weight of your driver's license. And we wrote down on it, coping skills, places that were safe to go, people who we could call if we couldn't get a hold of, our family. And I kept it in my wallet for over a year. I don't carry it as of now, but I know where it is. And, I carried it for a long time. Just having it there was helpful.
I think one of the biggest things that I learned was being mindful of our behaviors and her behaviors, how we're handling situations. And basically being mindful is just paying attention, not just glossing over, not just getting through, but actually paying attention to what is happening, addressing things as they happen. And I still use the mindfulness thing every day in just my own life.
It made my relationship with my dad, I felt like he understood more, and made a huge difference. It made me think he was my advocate.
The change is just so dramatic. We were able to make the decision at that time then to take Jayme out of school, and she finished high school in an alternative program and ended up graduating and, with her class and walking down the aisle. I'm sorry. We're so proud of her because we were afraid at that time that she wasn't going to get there, that she wasn't going to be able to graduate, that she was just going to be this zombie forever. And the CAIMP program changed that for all of us.
I did it. I looked them all in the face. None of that school thought I was going to do it. They thought I was going to be a statistic and drop out of high school, and I succeeded.
It's a long process, and some kids don't want to put into it what it takes, or families may not want to put into it what it takes, and if you don't, then you're not going to benefit. But if you're willing to put the time and the effort and the energy it takes to go to the appointments, the counseling appointments, and get a good counselor. We didn't have a good counselor either.
It's almost like it's a turning point. Like you've nowhere to go but up. There may be some times that you want to go down, but that's up to you. If you want to be better, then you have to make it happen.
Don't hesitate. Do it. If you're willing to put in the time and the like I said, the effort, the energy, and go and pay attention and be willing to open up to it, and be open to the other parents and listen and learn, do it. Because it can be life-changing.
There's no such thing as normal. You make your own normal. I do not like that word because normal means that I'm just like everybody else. But in the fact of the matter, I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to function as best as I can. And I want to, function day to day. And I'm still going to have those low periods. I'm not going to have, a good day every day. But I know that, and I know how to cope with it.
I would recommend it to anyone that is in a situation that would require it or need it. I mean, I can't say enough about the benefits and how it sort of saved our family dynamic, because it was a mess. We were a mess. My marriage was a mess. I mean, it was just everything that at the time was a mess. And so this couldn't have come at a better time.
It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to need help. You may think you're the only one, but you're not. You may feel like there's only one person in the world that's experiencing these symptoms that you're having. That's what I thought, but it wasn't true. At the end of the day, the only person that can fix it is you.
I want them to go to camp. I want these kids to go. They can't get out of bed. They can't function as normal people. Get them there. Get them the help. It's available. It's so sad, some of these kids that couldn't quite do it. I mean, both times we were there, we had kids that were so depressed that they just felt like they couldn't even get there. They didn't want to be there at all. And hopefully you can get them to go. If you can get them to go, it'll change your life. It will just change your life.